Have you ever heard the saying, it's not what you say, but how you say it that matters? Well, today we're going to be talking about the 4 different communication styles, the how you say it, so you can learn to be more effective in your communication. If you're new here and want to build your self-confidence and improve your communication style, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss the new videos I put out each and every week. As some of you who have been following me for a little while may know, I work as a management consultant. So I've worked with many different people from all levels of hierarchy and various different backgrounds. And from all these interactions, I can tell you that there are 4 primary ways or styles of communication that everybody fluctuates around. Now, while all 4 of them have their different uses, you might be more dominant in one form of communication style. So throughout this video, I want you to think about which of these styles is most dominant for you and which of them you display in most scenarios. There's no right or wrong here, so you just have to think about it and let me know what it is in the comment section below. The first of the 4 communication styles is passive. You're a passive communicator if you typically say yes to most things, even if you don't necessarily have the time or the capacity to take more things on. Passive communicators typically also avoid confrontation of any kind, and they instead want to appease the people they're with. And this might sometimes leave them vulnerable to actually accepting blame or responsibility for things they really should not. If you're a passive communicator, the typical types of sentences you might put together are something like, yeah, sure, I'll do that, no problem, or, oh well, it doesn't really matter, or, I just want people to be happy, it's fine. Or, if somebody is being mean to you or you're not happy with a certain situation, as a passive communicator, you might end up not actually saying anything altogether. The second of the 4 communication styles is aggressive. If you're an aggressive communicator, you typically will demand more than you ask. You typically don't necessarily care about other people's feelings, and instead you focus on what you want and what you want done now. If you're an aggressive communicator, you're also not afraid of confrontation. In fact, you might sometimes find yourself to be the first person to actually raise your voice, even, of course, if you know that it's somebody else's fault, always somebody else's fault, but you might find yourself to be the first person to raise your voice or even stand up and potentially start pointing fingers. No, literally, start pointing fingers. If you're an aggressive communicator, you might typically say things like, come on, why are you so slow? Or, we're doing this and I want it done now. Or, it's all your fault, we're in this mess. Aggressive communicators also tend to be loud and seldom have nothing to say. The third of the 4 communication styles is passive-aggressive. Passive-aggressive communicators typically prefer to leave notes to tell you when they're unsatisfied with something rather than speak to you face to face. These types of communicators are typically passive in the sense that they won't tell you something straight up. However, they also don't want to let things go, therefore they're potentially going to write you aggressive sounding notes instead. Now this could potentially cause a lot of animosity between people. These types of communicators may leave you notes around things like, oh, you're being too loud, or this is my milk, or I moved this thing for you this time, but next time you better move it by yourself, right? And you can really typically identify these kinds of people by all the notes that would have been left behind, and especially if you have lived in shared housing at any point, or you've shared a common breakout area at your workplace, then you would identify them with the ample amount of notes or post-it notes that have been left everywhere. If you open the fridge and you see this is my milk or a name, then you know who you're dealing with. Now, let's not lie, everybody knows someone like this, so if you are a passive-aggressive communicator, holla in the comment section below. The 4th style of communication is assertive. Now, assertive communicators typically speak up for themselves when appropriate, and unlike aggressive people, they speak up in a firm but fair way, and also are usually calm and collected when they speak. Unlike passive communicators, assertive communicators are able to say no to things and also speak up for themselves when someone's potentially being mean. And unlike passive-aggressive communicators, assertive types tend to talk to you face to face when they're unsatisfied with something rather than leave you a note. And if you're an assertive communicator, you might say things like, I understand what you're saying or where you're coming from, however, I disagree with you for X, Y, Z reasons. Another example might be, thanks, but really I'm not interested. Or, can you explain why you haven't got this thing finished yet? I just want to see if I can unblock some things for you so we can finish it in the deadline next time. As you've hopefully been able to see, the assertive form of communication is by far the most effective. While all four communication styles have their use and have their place in the world, the assertive way of communicating can help in most situations. However, there are very few people who are actually assertive in their communication. But the lucky thing is you can practice your communication style to become more assertive if you choose to do so. So if you want to be assertive or want to improve your communication style, then I would like to hear from you. I've included a little 5-minute survey down in the comment section below, so make sure if you're a person who wants to be assertive or wants to improve your communication style, you check out the link in the description and fill out this 5-minute survey, answer a few questions, and that'll help me tremendously. And I'll be selecting 5 lucky winners from that survey fill out to have a mock assessment with me to talk about how you're communicating and your route to more effective communication. Now, the thing to also watch out for is different communication styles may work with different types of personality for people as well. So if you're interested in finding out what type of personality you are or what type of different personalities might change, then make sure you watch the next video that I put out next week. And if you've enjoyed this video, then hit the like button and make sure if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you get my next video when it comes out and you don't miss out on it. Also, while you wait for my next week's video, make sure you check out these 2 videos which are going to help you out in your quest for becoming more confident as well. Alright guys, as always, thank you very much for watching and I will catch you in the next one.